Let me tell you, if you ever wake up to find a perfectly pressed woman in a pantsuit waving an eviction notice at you while bulldozers idle at the edge of your property line before dawn, you know it's going to be a special kind of Tuesday. And by special, I mean the kind of day that makes you question your life choices and maybe your sanity too. But that's exactly how this started for me. 6:47 in the morning, coffee barely poured, standing there in my driveway as Clarissa Rothell, queen of the Sunny Ridge HOA, smiled at me like she was delivering the Ten Commandments. She had that look, perfectly manicured nails, not a fleck of Tennessee red dust on her despite the swirling chaos, and behind her the roar of heavy equipment lining up like they were about to storm the beach. I blinked, thinking maybe I was still dreaming, but nope. There it was, real, as sunrise, backhoes, a bulldozer, drivers in hard hats, all waiting for her go-ahead. She handed me the notice like it was a gift. "Mr. Coulter, you need to vacate within 72 hours or we'll be forced to take corrective action." Let me tell you, that first cup of coffee didn't stand a chance. I'm squinting at this circus, trying to figure out if I'm being punked. "Excuse me?" I croaked, still half asleep and suddenly on high alert. Clarissa's smile got even colder. "The HOA has determined this parcel was incorrectly designated for residential use. Emergency boundary adjustment." You ever heard anyone use those words while gesturing at your land with a backhoe? Yeah, me neither. I watched as one of the operators swung the boom testing range, waiting for a nod. Then, like a scene from some dystopian movie, the bucket bit into my soil, a grinding, violent sound. That's when it hit me. They weren't just digging, they were building a trench around my property. "You're trying to trap me," I said, suddenly wide awake, heart thumping. Clarissa just shrugged, all fake sympathy. "We're creating a necessary buffer zone. If that limits your access, well, that's a consequence of your refusal to cooperate." What Clarissa didn't know, I wasn't just some unlucky homeowner. 3 years before, I'd testified against a congresswoman in a federal corruption case. Yeah, the kind that makes national news and ruins Thanksgivings. The government put me in witness protection, and I took security a little more seriously than most folks. 12 hidden cameras, motion sensors, encrypted cloud storage. Every word Clarissa spoke, every nod, every trench dug, recorded in glorious high def. "Maybe rethink your approach," I told her, keeping my voice even while inside I was seething. "Because you're being documented in ways you can't even imagine." She laughed. "Oh, Mr. Coulter, threats won't help you here. We have permits, we have legal authority, and the county's behind us. You have an old farmhouse and some outdated sense of ownership." The backhoes started their engines. I realized they were about to cut me off completely. "This is federal property," I warned, clutching my mug like a shield. Clarissa rolled her eyes. "You're just another stubborn homeowner. This is Sunny Ridge, Tennessee, 50 miles from anything federal." She turned her heels, clicking on gravel. "Excavation will be complete by Friday. Unless you want to live like a medieval peasant inside a moat, you might want to take our relocation offer." I just stood there as the machines chewed up earth I'd walked every day for years. But under the anger, something colder kicked in. Clarissa thought she was bullying a nobody. What she didn't know was that she'd just committed multiple federal crimes on camera, and I had the kind of friends who only show up when things get truly messy. Let me pause a sec. If this was your property, if you woke up to a trench going up around your home, what would you do? Drop it in the comments, hit that. Like if you've ever tangled with an HOA, because what happened next is where it gets wild. So how'd I end up here? Flashback 3 years, I was Garrison Coulter, 35, forensic accountant in D.C., making a living exposing the kind of financial trickery that keeps mobsters and politicians up at night. Then came the Rothwell case. Congresswoman Serafina Rothwell on paper, a rising star. In reality, the spider at the center of a vast sticky web. Defense contractors, offshore accounts, money laundering so complex you'd need a map just to get lost in it. I spent 8 months untangling that mess, and when it was over, she got 14 years, and I got a one-way ticket to nowhere under witness protection. The property I picked, 42 wooded acres outside Nashville, ex-government safe house with a basement straight out of a spy novel. Reinforced walls, air filtration, the whole works. I upgraded everything. Cameras, pressure plates, backup generator. Yeah, maybe a little overboard, but after what I'd seen, paranoia is just another word for staying alive. And for a while it worked. The Sunny Ridge Estates development popped up next door 2 years ago. Cookie cutter homes, strict HOA, but as long as they left me alone, I didn't care. Until Clarissa Rothell took over as president. The name stuck out. Rothwell couldn't be coincidence, right? But I tried to convince myself otherwise. 6 weeks ago, I got a letter, preliminary property assessment purchase offer $800K. The tone was all wrong, like they were testing me. I ignored it. Another letter came, this one more insistent offer bumped to $900K. I still wasn't interested. This wasn't about money. It was about staying off the grid safe. Then Clarissa showed up in person. Cream pantsuit, pearls, every inch the socialite. Mr. Coulter, your property is creating visual discontinuity, she told me, like I was a stain on her view. She pitched community integration in generous terms. I kept it polite but firm. Not for sale, not now, not ever. That night I called my FBI handler Benedict. Asked him to run her name. Turns out Clarissa was Serafina's sister-in-law. Icy dread set in. She found me. Not for certain, Benedict said, but I could hear it in his voice. He wasn't sure either. Document everything. Don't give her a reason to escalate. And watch your back. Weeks passed. Strange cars parked near the property county surveyors who weren't in any records code violations for fences, mailboxes, except my land wasn't even in the HOA. Each citation more aggressive than the last. I documented it all, cameras, logs, dates, names. Then came that morning, the trenches. The sheriff's deputy, Thornton, showed up after I called. Young guy looked like he actually wanted to help. Clarissa met us, clipboard in hand, folder of permits. Deputy Thornton wasn't buying it. These boundary lines don't match county records, he said. Clarissa insisted they were corrected. Thornton shut down the excavation pending investigation. Clarissa's eyes went cold, message received, but the work didn't stop. The next day, County Assessor Patricia Kymel walked the lines with me, shaking her head. This trench is on your property, Mr. Coulter. Whatever permits they're waving around, they didn't come from our office. She confronted Clarissa, who didn't blink. Our legal team will be in touch. The trench kept growing. By Thursday, they were prepping to cut off my last access, my driveway. I called Benedict. They're trapping me. Technically, the property's in your name, not federal, he said. On paper, you own it. But you have proof, right? Every kind that matters, I answered. Friday morning, I watched as they started on the final trench. I confronted the operator. He just shrugged. Just doing my job, buddy. Clarissa was getting desperate. I called her out on the fake permits County confirmed they were forged. For the first time, she looked genuinely rattled, but it passed quick. We'll see you in court, Mr. Coulter. By Friday night, I was landlocked. They parked a dump truck across my only exit for safety, the sign said. Mail, rerouted trash, not picked up groceries couldn't get through. Clarissa had turned my house into an island. But I was sitting on hours of high-def footage, her threats, the fake documents, even a late-night concrete operation where her contractors sealed the trenches with 6-foot walls. I caught the whole thing audio too. The boss wants him isolated. He destroyed her sister's life. Now we destroy his. That's when I went public. Uploaded the video, titled it HOA or Hit Squad. No mention of witness protection. Just evidence of an HOA gone mad. The response instant. Local news, then national. Calls, emails, lawyers, HOA horror stories flooding in. The next night, the FBI showed up early. 3 SUVs, agents in tactical gear, Benedict at the door, Gray at the temples. You knew who she was, he said. Why wait? Proof, I told him. Evidence is everything. We reviewed my files, every recording, every threat, every shadow. Benedict went quiet. This is bigger than you think, Garrison. 4 other federal witnesses, same pattern. 1 ended up dead. Now we have what we need, Benedict said. Let them think they've won. When they move, we move. And move they did. Clarissa and her crew showed up in the middle of the night, tried to break in, reading from some phony HOA emergency decree. Military contractors, tools, weapons. The moment they crossed the line, FBI swarmed. Clarissa, Camden board members, even a county clerk arrested on the spot. 9 people taken down, including Donovan Rothell, the puppet master. The press had a field day. The prosecutors were brutal. Jury didn't take long. Guilty on all counts, witness intimidation, conspiracy, obstruction. Years in federal prison. Their money gone. Their homes auctioned. Their legacy ruined. The concrete walls around my property came down. Feds even turned the land into a training site. That trench, Clarissa thought, would be my prison. Now it's an obstacle course for new witnesses learning how to survive. A year later, a U.S. Marshal offered me a job training others to protect themselves, to document everything, to fight back smart. You really took on an HOA and won, one asked me. I helped take down an entire conspiracy, I said. There's a difference. That place became more than a safe house. It was proof that with evidence, patience, and a little help from friends who know what real justice looks like, you can stand your ground even against people who think they're untouchable. One day, a mother of another witness knocked at my door, flowers in hand, gratitude in her eyes. Because of you, we got justice. Clarissa Rothell thought she was digging my grave. Turns out she just gave me a purpose, turning every lesson into a way to protect others. So if someone tries to build a prison around you, build a fortress and let the world see what real justice looks like. Now I gotta ask, if this was your land, your fight, would you go to the FBI or take it public first? Drop your answer below and share your own stories. What's justice to you? Hit that. Like, subscribe if you want more stories of standing your ground. Because out here, justice isn't just a word, it's what you do next.